Hey, what's up? What's up? Man, I'm pissed. I'm over here at the I'm over at the same place that I was before. About probably a month ago. Same place that I realized, everybody realized, the big shocker that you can't report a federal crime, a major federal crime at that, to these people unless they actually run a complete and full background check. First of all, they tried to give me the damn runaround on bringing this affidavit over here, trying to claim that because I got here 5 minutes or whatever after 4 o'clock that nobody would meet with me. Had to remind them that that they work for the people. You know, I think there's a common misconception going on right now that with the federal government that they basically run the it's their say on everything. Just like I just had an argument with an agent over at the office that was a complete smartass about the requirement for a background check. Doesn't make a bit of sense to me. He wanted to tell me I don't know the Fourth Amendment. Said they've had this policy for a long time as far as running a background check to speak to an agent. Said the Fourth Amendment's been around a lot longer than whatever your policy is. Y'all forget about that? You forget about the document called the Constitution? Clearly, these jackasses have way too much money in their budget. If they can afford to run a background check on somebody just to speak to an agent. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So, it's starting to rain. I want to talk about some of the things that happened today. This is going to be a pretty big update. And I would like to do it outside and not actually in my car. And we're going to see how this rain holds up, because it's starting to sprinkle. I'm going to go over what I wanted to drop off with the FBI. And I sure hope somebody is scoping this YouTube out. Like I'm sure they are. Because this just got filed in federal court today anyways. But what I really wanted to see is if the FBI was going to take their job seriously and take a major complaint. All I wanted to do was to see somebody in person. All they had to do was come to the damn gate and talk to me. But this is the nonsense. These people are paid for with taxpayer dollars. And this is exactly how they treat the people that pay their salaries. All right. In my hand right here, it's backwards on this, I've got a sworn declaration. I'm going to read this sworn declaration live on this video since I couldn't actually turn it in to the FBI. Want to give me the runaround. I guess I have another complaint to file with the Office of the Inspector General. So this will make 3 now. I'm just going to keep filing paperwork until something changes, because this is ridiculous. I, Matthew Oliver Reardon, declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, that the following is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. 1. I am over the age of 18 and competent to make this declaration. I am the individual referenced in communications sent by Captain Hilden Sessoms of the Oxford, Mississippi Police Department on February the 5th, 2025. Number 2, I moved into a residence in Layton, Utah, late in the day on February 1st, 2025. The residence is located at, I'm going to redact that for this video. Number 3, at the time I moved in, I had not submitted or disclosed that residential address to any person, agency, platform, or institution, public or private. Number 4, I had not yet updated or filed my new address with the Department of Motor Vehicles, the United States Postal Service, voter registration, tax filings, or any other governmental record-keeping agency. Number 5, I had not mentioned or published the address on any public platform, social media account, video, form, or document, nor had I provided it to any individual outside of the leasing process. Number 6, in fact, I did not have the address memorized and routinely had to refer back to a text message from my landlord to retrieve it. This further on. This further affirms my patience is running thin today. This further affirms that I could not have casually or inadvertently disclosed the address myself. Number 7, at no point prior to February 5th, 2025, did I provide my new Layton address to any law enforcement agency, including but not limited to the Layton.
Hey sir, how's it going?
What's going on?
Hey, I'm gonna have to ask for you to leave though, otherwise you'll get charged with trespassing.
I'm gonna get charged with trespassing, being on public
You're not on public property. This is private property.
The FBI is private property. No, this is actually a parking lot right here.
No, so yeah, but we own this. You can go in the grass, you can go on the other side of the street, but you need to leave this area.
So this, you're actually gonna tell me this. I'm a journalist, and
Okay.
I'm here. I tried to turn in.
Where are your credentials at?
Fuck the credentials. I don't need fucking credentials. Who are you to ask me for fucking credentials, motherfucker?
No, you have a
Where's
potty
your,
mouth.
Okay, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Where's your supervisor at?
You don't need to talk to my supervisor. Does filming make you feel cool?
Yeah. Does being a fucking dumbass, Does refusing to talk to the public, does that make you feel special?
I'm talking to you. I'm not
All right.
refusing to talk to you.
Well, I'm not going to play your fucking games. I'm going to leave the property,
Thank you so much.
and I'm actually going to go right out here to the curb, and then I'd like to see you do something, motherfucker.
All right.
Piece of shit.
You're really big behind the camera, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. All right,
Oh, yeah.
you can leave now.
Fucking cool. Can y'all believe that? Did you hear what he said? Oh, he's looking at my tag. Oh yeah. Yeah, get the fuck out of the way.
Just getting your license.
Yeah, okay. See this? Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Reardon. I'm a journalist, an author, and a constitutional rights advocate. And today, I'm standing before you as a whistleblower whose urgent complaint has been ignored by the very agency that claims to protect people like me. On Wednesday of last week, April the 9th, I submitted a brand new complaint to the Department of Justice, Office of the Inspector General. This wasn't just a follow-up. It was a comprehensive, updated filing that incorporated new evidence and expanded on a previous complaint I submitted earlier this year, which also went unanswered. That's right. This wasn't my first time knocking on their door. Earlier in 2025, I used their official web submission form to report serious misconduct involving 2 Lafayette County Sheriff's deputies. I never heard back. No response. No case number. No acknowledgement. So last week, I gave them another chance. I submitted a new, detailed complaint by email with 2 sworn declarations, a full timeline of events, and exhibits clearly showing how my civil rights were violated, how federal level data appears to have been weaponized against me and handed off to local agencies. I requested a case number. I asked for confirmation. I asked for whistleblower protection. Nothing. The next day, April 10th, I followed up again, repeating my request and explaining the urgency. Still no response. Today I called them. I went through the phone prompts. I reached the line for a live representative. It rang, and then it went to voicemail. I left a detailed message explaining exactly who I was, what I submitted, and why I needed a call today. That call never came. Let me be perfectly clear. This silence is not an accident. This is a deliberate refusal to acknowledge a journalist reporting illegal government conduct. That makes the Inspector General's office complicit in the very kind of misconduct they're supposed to investigate. This isn't about ego or recognition. It's about accountability. When a citizen, armed with evidence, sworn declarations, and a clear paper trail, brings allegations of government overreach to the DOJ's internal watchdog, and they respond with silence, that's not oversight. That's obstruction. So today, I'm calling for the following: a formal acknowledgement and case number from the Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General, a full investigation into not only the content of my complaint, but their failure to respond. And for members of Congress, civil rights groups, and independent watchdogs like Judicial Watch, the ACLU, and POGO to step up and demand transparency. Because if this can happen to me, an outspoken journalist, Marine Corps veteran, and constitutional rights advocate, it can happen to anyone. I will not be intimidated into silence. I will not be erased by bureaucratic indifference. And I will not stop until this issue gets the full exposure and justice it demands. Thank you. Matthew Reardon, reporting live outside the U.S. District Court for the District of Utah. WTP, We the People News.
How are you doing?
All right, how you doing?
What are you doing? Just hanging out?
Huh?
Filming?
Yeah, I'm reporting on a story.
Sorry, say that again.
Said I'm reporting on a story.
Okay, got it. That's fine. I'm gonna wait to do that. Find out what's going on with federal property.
I mean, honestly, it's open to the public, so
Are you just a reporter, or it's specific to you?
I mean, honestly, I really don't want to answer any questions. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm up here on public property.
Like I said, I have to document anything on federal property. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you heard me. I mean, I'm reporting on a story.
yeah. Okay.
So. Declaration of Matthew Oliver Reardon, pursuant to 28 U.S. Code 1746. I, Matthew Oliver Reardon, declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, that the following is true and correct. Number 1, I am a journalist and constitutional rights advocate residing in Layton, Utah. I am competent to make this declaration and do so of my own personal knowledge. Number 2, on March 31st, 2025, I visited the FBI Salt Lake City office in an attempt to deliver an affidavit alleging serious misconduct and potential federal crimes by Captain Hilden Sessoms of the Oxford, Mississippi Police Department. Number 3, Captain Sessoms has previously admitted to being a graduate of the FBI National Academy, and I believe his ties to the FBI may explain the federal government's ongoing unwillingness to investigate his conduct or accept reports implicating him in civil rights violations and unlawful surveillance. Number 4, I have previously experienced refusal, stonewalling, and systemic inaction from the FBI in response to reported documented abuses involving Mississippi state and local officials. I believe this demonstrates a long-standing pattern of disregard or prejudice by the Bureau against me. Number 5, upon arrival at the Salt Lake City FBI office on March 31st, 2025, I was not allowed past the outer visitor gate. FBI agents refused to even approach to retrieve my affidavit or engage in discussion. They instead demanded my driver's license and personal identification for the purpose of running a full background check before they would even accept a piece of paper from me. Number 6, I was there for lawful purposes, attempting to submit documented evidence and a sworn statement alleging criminal activity by a law enforcement official. Number 7, I explicitly refused to submit to a background check citing my Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure. I told them that no victim of a crime should be required to give up their constitutional rights to report criminal conduct. Number 8, the FBI agent became hostile and refused to engage unless I complied with this arbitrary and unconstitutional demand. This procedure, which he claimed was policy, served to chill my First Amendment rights, as I was ultimately prevented from submitting a criminal complaint or my affidavit due to their refusal to accept it without unlawfully searching me first. Number 9, I began reporting on the event live, standing in the publicly accessible visitor parking lot outside the gate of the FBI field office. I was peacefully reading from my declaration on camera when 2 FBI agents approached without warning or conversation and ordered me to leave immediately under threat of arrest for trespassing. Number 10, when I asserted my right to be present in the public visitor area as a journalist and civilian, I pointed out that taxpayer-funded federal property is not private. However, they insisted that the parking lot was FBI-owned private property and that I was no longer welcome. Their only response was, "If you don't leave, you'll be charged." Number 11. In addition, an agent walked around my car to the rear and recorded my license plate number, further escalating the surveillance, intimidation, and harassment against me. 12. I believe that this act was retaliatory and that the FBI's actions, past and present, reflect a deliberate effort to suppress my speech, evade accountability, and shield Sessoms from investigation due to institutional ties and complicity. 13. I believe this encounter, as well as prior conduct, establishes a violation of my First Amendment right to petition the government and report as a journalist, of my Fourth Amendment right against suspicionless search, a retaliatory pattern against a known journalist and constitutional rights advocate, probable unlawful sharing and constitutional rights advocate, probable unlawful sharing of surveillance or intelligence with Sessoms by the FBI or its agents. Executed this first day of April 2025 at 7 o'clock a.m. Matthew Oliver Reardon. Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Reardon. I'm a journalist, father of 4, and a relentless advocate for our constitutional rights. I stand here today at the federal courthouse in Salt Lake City, not just on my own behalf, but on behalf of every American who has ever placed faith in the integrity of our legal system, only to have that faith betrayed. On January 21st of this year, an illegal prison sentence was finally vacated. A sentence that had stolen precious time from my life and my children. Within a week, I relocated from Mississippi to Layton, Utah, looking to rebuild. But almost immediately, illegal surveillance was conducted by Oxford Police Department. And on that very same day, my private address, which had never been made public, was doxed out and disseminated to 139 police officers, along with false and defamatory information. I filed a federal lawsuit on March 31st of this year to challenge this and other constitutional violations. That very day, I went to the FBI here in Salt Lake City to submit a sworn declaration, a formal statement under penalty of perjury. Instead of taking it, I was told a background check was required before I could even speak with an agent. I was reporting the situation standing outside in the visitor parking lot when I was threatened with arrest for trespassing, and my license plate was documented. Since then, I filed 2 separate motions to lift the stay on my case, a motion for recusal, because every day that this stay remains in place, the harm I suffer intensifies. But the court has not acted. The stay remains. The silence continues. And it's not just the court. The Office of the Inspector General has refused to acknowledge either of the 2 formal complaints I submitted, each one backed by evidence and urgency. Not even a case number. The FBI has ignored both of my FOIA requests, filed nearly a month ago. No acknowledgement, no tracking number, nothing. It's like I'm being swatted away by the Department of Justice, treated like an inconvenience, like a problem to be buried. And now, even the federal courthouse behind me, once hailed as the guardian of rights, seems to be joining in. What happened to the separation of powers? What happened to checks and balances? On May 2nd, I was threatened with criminal charges in Morgan County, Utah, for using my alias name, Don Matthews, on public record request submitted under Utah's grandma law. Why? Because my real name had already been doxed. Because 2 reckless municipalities, Layton and Oxford, abused their power and weaponized my identity. So what would any journalist do? I protected myself. And for that, they're threatening me with prosecution. How many more hits am I expected to take? How many more shocking acts of complicity and retaliation must be endured before someone says enough? And what happens if or when the federal court behind me continues to do nothing? At what point does justice delayed become justice denied? Because right now, from where I stand, this courthouse, this symbol of liberty, is beginning to look less like a temple of justice and more like a kangaroo court. I'm calling on the press. I'm calling on the public. I'm calling on every honest official and citizen who still believes in the rule of law. Look at what's happening here. Don't turn away. Demand answers. Demand accountability. Because if this can happen to me, a journalist, a Marine Corps veteran, it could happen to anyone. Thank you for being here. I will not be silenced. I will not back down. And I will not stop fighting until justice is not just a slogan, but a reality for myself and for every American who still believes in the promise of our Constitution. This is Matthew Reardon, reporting live from the Federal Courthouse in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. We the People News.